rocks. Other than that, hope everybody's having a great morning this morning, and we're happy to see you back here at the Charlotte Curling Club. Okay, this morning we only have sheets C and D up and running. So let's get you back over to sheets C and D here for you so you can see. Okay, so playing Red Rocks on sheet C, we have Team Hosejan. So we have Jeremy Hosejan, Don Hosejan, David Coates, and Cam Coates playing on Red Rocks sheet C. That's hard to say. And playing Yellow Rocks on sheet C, we have Mary Poppins Sweepers. So Kyle Fisher is our skip for that team, at least as far as I'm aware. I know our data hasn't always been right, but that's okay. That's okay. That's what it's all about here. Um, and we have Team D, or sorry, not Team D. We have Sheet D over here. Playing Yellow Rocks on Sheet D this morning, we have Witchful Thinking. And that is made up of Mark Palmer, Trevor Gow, Cameron Kim, and Chris Berry. And then playing Red Rocks, we have Colorado Wildlife. So we have Al Bolt, Kathy Bolt, Eric Mowell, and Nancy Mowell, too. Um, there we go. On Sheet D and Sheet C, we have rocks already flying. Please use the chat. Talk with me. I'd love to see you guys this morning. For those of you watching live on YouTube, we have Omar in the Peanut Gallery. If you guys were watching him yesterday, playing some fabulous games over there. Okay, how are we sitting so far? I'm looking at the cameras. Looks like on sheet D, Wishful Thinking sitting one so far. And looks like Team Hosejan just placed one in there. So they're also sitting, looks like two based on my camera angle. Not bad so far. Great start this morning. Got some freshly prepped ice ready to go, of course, right? Wouldn't expect anything other than that. Good morning, Anne. See your comment. Nice to see you. Can't wait to see you later today when you get here. There we go. Another rock flying sheet C for Mary Poppins Sweepers. Check it out. They're sweeping. They're sweeping. We have two sweepers now on that rock. Same for sheet D. Two sweepers on that one as well. Wishful Thinking always with clever costumes. We have some clever pineapple pants out there. So if you guys are looking at the cameras, check out those pineapple pants. I think they're kind of cool. I'll try and get a better view for you guys a little bit later. We have both Team Hosejan and Colorado Wildlife now placing their sixth rock. Their third rock. Excuse me, sorry about that. Their third rock. So first rock for the seconds. There we go. They're sweeping on sheet D. They're holding off on sheet C. Oh, now they're sweeping. There it goes. Nice, nice. Just tapped their other red one. Opened up the middle there a little bit. It's a very, very chill morning in the in the wild room, in the warm room. But that's okay. We're still having a good time here. Glad you guys can join us. Um, we have two people right now on the live stream. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate your watching. Here we go. Another rock on sheet C for Mary Poppins Sweepers. That is their third rock to deliver. How are we doing so far? Let's take a look at those overhead cameras. In both the lower right corner for sheet C and sheet D, you can see the far houses there. So it looks like Team Hostjan is currently sitting 2 right now, and we're looking at sheet D. It looks like based on my camera angle, wishful thinking is sitting at 1. I mean, I can't exactly tell if the red and the blue rock on the very outer blue ring there, if those are actually in the house or not. So we'd have to wait for final confirmation if this were a final score. Seems like everybody was happy. Everybody was doing good. I think they're really excited to see the results of the Sweepy Hollow, because this is the finals for the C category here. So our C bracket. That's why we only have 2 games going this morning. There we go. Wishful thinking. Another rock. That was the first Vice rock for wishful thinking. In the last second rock for Mary Poppins Sweepers there. It's hard to look at all the screens at once and tell you guys play-by-play here. And thanks for bearing with me. I'm a fairly new curly here, so I'm trying to learn all the terms, all the rules. So if I say something wrong, please correct me. I am always willing to learn and hear from the expert curlers that we have here in the YouTube chats, or in the warm room, of course, too, right? There we go. That is the first Vice Rock for Colorado Wildlife on sheet D, and on sheet C, that is also their first Vice Rock for Team Hostjan. Looks like on Team Hostjan's sheet C, a little bit off to the left side there. It looks like they're going after one of those yellow rocks, but it did curl. It did curl. Where did it sit? Oh, okay, there we go. It sat right there in the blue ring, outer blue ring. Right in the middle of it. I think that's setting them up for, it looks like 3. Not too shabby. Not another plan. Not a very experienced skip here, so if not, never skipped before. But okay, there we go. That is our first Vice Rock on sheet C for Mary Poppins Sweepers. And please, just let me know if there's any technical difficulties on your guys' end so we can help resolve those either on my end or your end. And we have this, looks like the second Vice Rock for both Team Hostjan and Colorado Wildlife, both sitting in the hack there, ready to, there we go, already out of the hack. Both stones flying down both sheets and C and D, if you guys look on the cameras, both on the left and the right side of your screen. Sweeping on sheet D, but they're leaving it on sheet C. Just knocked one of those yellow ones. Actually, it probably got them a little bit closer. Oh, being swept out by Mary Poppins Sweepers there. Does look like, based on that camera view on sheet C, looks like Mary Poppins Sweepers is sitting 1 right now. Based on that yellow one in the back of the house, it's like almost touching the white. So, a lot of strategy there for Team Hostjan, so we can see, we'll have to see what they play in the next, it looks like, They're sending the last Vice Rock Mary Poppins Sweepers on sheet C. And it looks like it's actually the first skip rock for wishful thinking on sheet D. So keep an eye on that as that rock starts flying. Keep an eye on the purple witch with that very nice cape that we were looking at yesterday. I know it was um, so witchful over here on sheet D this morning. And there we go on sheet C and D, both yellow rocks flying. Again, sheet C, it's the last Vice Rock. Sheet D, it's the first skip rock. Okay, let's see where they land on your cameras. Oh, just knocked one of those red ones out for Mary Poppins Sweepers. That definitely put them in a better spot. They're sitting 2 right now based on my camera angle. And I missed sheet D. So sorry, guys. Hey Matthew, thanks for commenting on the YouTube chat. Yes, Sunday curling. It is good curling this morning. Everybody's happy to be here. Worm Room's very quiet though. There's only a couple of us in here actually. So we'd love to see you adding into the camaraderie here on YouTube. Very appreciated. Okay, here we go on sheet C. It is the first skip rock for Team Hosjan. Just coming out of the hack there. That's our skip, Jeremy Hosjan right there. Can't see where he lands. Looking at sheet C, guys. That's the left side of your screen. Look at. Oh! They tapped their other one, sending that rock into. It looks like just touching the red, based on my camera angle. So they are currently sitting at 1. Not a bad shot. Now I don't know how that works for overall strategy or anything, but they are currently, again, there's only 3 more rocks at play here. So I mean, they easily could use that one to help them out. Although it's kind of open. That's the only downside to that rock. Okay, we're looking back at sheet D again. This is actually going to be the last rock for wishful thinking right there. Again, look at those pineapple pans. He's going to be one of the sweepers for this rock, so keep an eye out for those. Love those. So keep an eye on sheet D again. Wishful thinking is just getting into the hack. There's skip Mark Palmer here. Just getting into the hack, prepping his stone. Maybe a little good luck prep, right? Wipe the bottom. And also on sheet C, last rock for the red rocks, which is Team Hosjan, getting ready to send that. Oh, there goes Mark Palmer with his last rock. And same for Jeremy Hosjan, his last rock on sheet C, the red rocks there. So let's keep an eye on sheet D, see where that yellow rock went to. Look, just tap that red one. So set up another guard there. Oh, they're sweeping that red rock out of that center ring there on sheet C. So Team Hosjan still sitting at 1 there based on that last shot. So we'll see what happens. There's only one more rock by the yellow team, which is the Mary Poppins Sweepers there. We have 4 of you now streaming. Welcome everybody who have just joined us. This is the C semi. Oh no, actually, I'm sorry. C finals here for the C bracket. Coming up next at. I should double check the time on that one. But coming up at the next finals event. Oh, actually, this is the C semifinals. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. So yes, we have all the final events A, B, C, and D coming up at the next draw. I will go double check on the time before the end of the chat or before the end of this games, so that way you guys can know when to tune back into our live stream. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye on those scores. Both teams are now on the second end. As I was looking at what's coming up next after these couple games here. So I will keep an eye on the scores as soon as they update them for you. There we go. Just got confirmation that the next draw is at 12 p.m. for you guys for all the final games. So make sure to tune back in at 12 p.m. for that live stream as well. Okay, we are already started for N2. Mary Papa Sweeper sending their first rock, so that gives Team Hostjan the hammer. And then on sheet D, let's see, we have Colorado Wildlife sending their first rock. So actually, Wishful Thinking has the hammer on this end. Oh, we got the score. We got the score on sheet D. Colorado Wildlife is sitting at 1. And I'm still waiting on confirmation on C for that score. So I'll get back to you as soon as I have that for you guys. And here we go. On sheet D, Colorado Wildlife sending their first stone. And Team Hostjan also sending their first stone. Ooh, it's close on sheet C. I'd say if I was out there being the vice and calling this shot, I'd probably say Team Hostjan is currently sitting at 1. But again, it's very early in the game yet, so there's plenty of opportunity for something to happen to these rocks. So, for those of you just joining us, welcome to the C semifinals at the Sweepy Hollow 2021 at the Charlotte Curling Club. We're happy to have you here. It's a good Sunday morning for curling, as Matthew commented to say. So, appreciate you guys for being here. So yes, we only have 2 games going this morning, so that's why I'm just sticking in this view for you guys. If you do want to zoom in on a team, just comment on the YouTube chat, and I'll be happy to focus in on one of the teams. But I figured that everybody would want to see both at the same time. So, but again, that's just me assuming, and it's never safe to assume. Okay, there we go. We have on sheet D, we have Colorado Wildlife sending their second rock. Again, placing another guard behind the yellow one, so that's fairly safe, at least for now. Again, the ice is curling, especially sheet D. They were saying it's very finicky this morning. So, again, being a new curler, not sure what that means, but if you guys want to inform me on that, I'd be happy to learn. Okay, it looks like on sheet C they are about to start the second rocks. So both teams already having 2 rocks down on the close end. They're sweeping on sheet C. They're sweeping. It looks like so many colors and teams over here. Whew. It looks like on sheet D, Colorado Wildlife sending their third rock. So looking at the houses here, it looks like based on my camera angles, Mary Poppin Sweepers on sheet C currently sitting at 1, and it looks like I'd say on sheet D, Colorado Wildlife also sitting at 1 for the second end. Again, here comes the 5th rock on sheet C. Well, actually, that's a 6 rock. I'm sorry. The 6 rock on sheet C. Team Hojan. Interesting. I'm not sure what the goal was for that one, but Team Hojan hitting their other ones. I mean, they're still sitting at 1. Here on Team C, Mary Poppins Sweeper sending their 4th rock down the sheet here. And Colorado Wildlife sending another one on sheet D here. As wishful thinking over there is prepping up in the hack again on sheet D. Let's see what Colorado Wildlife is going to do with this. It's definitely curling this morning, guys. It's curling. Looks like they're going right for that yellow. It's going for it. It's going for it. Oh, oh, oh. There we go. Based on that last shot, Colorado Wildlife currently sitting at 1. Okay, and on sheet C, Team Hostjan sending another rock here. This is their 4th rock? Yes. Yes, their 4th rock. Then we're going to get on to Vice Rocks. It looks like setting up another guard there, Team Hostjan. That's an interesting one because everything's very pocketed, but I mean, the ice is curling this morning, guys. And sheet D, wishful thinking, doing this almost the same exact shot that Colorado Wildlife just played. Putting them at 2. Yeah, definitely putting them at 2 currently, knocking out Colorado Wildlife's last shot. We're looking back at sheet C again. Mary Poppins Sweepers sending their first Vice Rock. Let's see where it's headed. It is headed right for their other 2. Oh, I thought it was gonna go right down the middle for a second there. Okay. Looks like they're still sitting at 0 because that Team Hostjan rock right in front of that other yellow rock that's touching the blue. Wish I had a pointer for you guys so I could point as I'm talking as well, but I hope my descriptions are good enough for you guys. Again, let's see, back on sheet C again, Team Hostjan sending their first Vice Rock here. See where it's going. It is curling again, ladies and gentlemen. It is curling, hitting those yellow rocks from Mary Poppins Sweepers. They just knocked one of them out. We're lightly, heavy sweeping now with wishful thinking on sheet D. Heavy sweeping. Furiously sweeping there. Placed another guard right in front of the house there. Just to the left of Colorado Wildlife's rock. That is almost touching the blue here. Again, Colorado Wildlife sending another rock down. It is going to sneak right through the middle between the yellow and the red rocks that already placed as guards there, hitting another one of their other ones, and place them. How many are they sitting at right now? Looks possibly 2 based on my camera angle. Definitely 1 for sure. Definitely 1 for sure. Possibly 2 there. Okay, sitting in the hack on sheet C, we have Team Hostjan. Looks like Vice Dawn Hostjan is in there. Just sent right out of the hack. Looks nice. It's coming in. Looks a little heavy. They're sweeping it though. They're sweeping. It's definitely slowing down when you get out to the side. It starts curling. It's definitely curling. Looks like it just right through the middle between the yellow and the red rocks that were placed as guards there. Placing them almost dead center. Not a bad shot. And they do have yellow ones behind that, so it might I mean, Mary Poppins Sweepers is most likely going to do something with that stone, right? You can't just leave it there. But well, I guess we'll have to find out. Wait and see. Looks like Team Hostjan currently sitting at 3 on sheet C. Looking over at sheet D. Looks like they're trying to figure out the next shot here. Colorado Wildlife currently sitting at 1 there. Oh, and I do have that score update for you for sheet C. And the first end, let's see, Mary Poppins Sweeper scored 2 there for you. So let's update that on the scoreboard for you. There we go. Sorry about the delay on that one. A lot of strategy this morning. I mean, Vice Rocks are important too, don't get me wrong. Every single one of these is important, guys. There we go. On sheet C, Mary Poppins Sweepers just sent another one. And let's see, based on that last shot from Mary Poppins Sweepers, plays their last shot right in front of, it would look like their second red rock that was touching the red. So now Team Hojian currently only sitting at 1 based on that last shot from Mary Poppins Sweepers. I'm looking over at sheet D. We can see that Colorado Wildlife sending another shot. It looks like if I get a good view here, can't tell what number rock that is. We got a lot of people standing in the way here. That was their first skip rock from Colorado Wildlife there. Okay, this is the last. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the first skip rock from Wishful Thinking, getting ready in the hack over there on sheet D. And looking back at sheet C again, Team Hosjan sending the first skip rock as well for them from their skip, Jeremy Hosjan. Let's see where that ends up. They were sweeping, stop sweeping. Just missed that one that they currently had sitting close to the center of the house there. That was Team Hosjan and sheet C. Looking over at sheet D, Wishful Thinking sending their rock, and they do have hammer, guys. Remember that. There we go. That last one just tapped the red. Just tapped the red. Let's see. Based on that, ooh, it's definitely close. I'd say if there is anything, Wishful Thinking has 1, is sitting 1 there. It's hard in this camera angle. It's so small. So here we go. This is the last rock on sheet D from Colorado Wildlife. So pop up that last rock again. There we go. And it's also, looks like it's also the last rock for Wishful Thinking on sheets. Oh, sorry. My apologies. I'm sorry. Also the last rock for Mary Poppins Sweepers on sheet C. So we got last rock for Colorado Wildlife and Mary Poppins Sweepers, both C and D respectively here. It's really nice. Both teams are like at the exact same pace, so we can all be through it. All get through it together. And for those of you just joining us, I see we're up to now 7. Welcome to Charlotte Curling Club. Welcome to the Sweepy Hollow semifinals for the C bracket this Sunday morning at 9:30 this morning. Oh, there we go. There is the last shot from Colorado Wildlife right there, sitting. Looks like based on my camera angle, they are currently sitting at 2. I guess we will have to see about the last rock from, let's see, Wishful Thinking on sheet D over there. And here comes the last rock, getting ready to come out of the hack on sheet C. Right there, last rock for Mary Poppins Sweepers on sheet C for their skip, Kyle Fisher. Let's see where that ends up going. Ooh, that last shot from Mary Poppins Sweepers just tapped the current red one. Although Team Hosjan looks like they are still sitting at one, even though Mary Poppins Sweepers on their last rock just tapped it. Let's tune into sheet D over here. So on the right side of your screen, Wishful Thinking making their last shot for the second end. Ooh, just tapped their other one. Ooh. Not quite the result they were looking for on that one, but that's okay. That's okay. We are on to the third end, sheet D, and we are up to the last rock for the second end for Colorado. For Team Hosjan on sheet C. So we are on to the third end, sheet D. Okay, here we go. Focusing on sheet C. Focus on sheet C for our last shot from them for the second end. Let's see what happens here. And this is sheet C. Let's see. This is Team Hosjan, their last rock for the second end. Last rock for the second end, Team Hosjan. Sheet C. Not sweeping currently. I'm still trying to figure out telling when rocks are traveling faster, when they're traveling slow, when you need to be sweeping, when you shouldn't let off. Now sweeping on sheet C. See where that red rock ends up. Didn't quite have the speed they were looking for there. I think they were trying to knock that other yellow just in front of the red that was touching the red ring in the house. Not exactly sure though. I'll keep you posted on the scores as I have them for you guys. All games are now on the third end. All games on the third end. Let's tune back to the side-by-side view. There we go. No more last rocks. As we're on now the third end here at the Charlotte Curling Club for the C semifinals. For those of you that are just joining or coming back, welcome. If you haven't been welcomed yet, I'm your host, Trevor Suarez, this morning. We are at the C semifinals for the 2021 Sweepy Hollow at the Charlotte Curling Club. All teams are in their third end right now. It looks like this is the first rock for the third end. Sheet C. Looks like Mary Poppins Sweepers has Hammer now on sheet C, and it also looks like Wishful Thinking has Hammer still on sheet D. Okay, Wishful Thinking. Again, there's Pineapple Pants right there on sheet D, just setting his first rock, Pineapple Pants. I like that. I like that name, Pineapple Pants. There we go on sheet C. Mary Poppins Sweepers is trying some takeouts here. They are currently the only rock in the far houses. Looking at sheet D, Wishful Thinking currently has two sitting in the house. Again, it's very early in the third end, so there's still plenty of time to change that, of course. Looking back at sheet C, let's see, Team Hosjan. It looks like that's Cam right there. Just sent his, is that his first? No, that was his second. That was his second rock from Cam on Team Hosjan. Sheet C. Where did that end up? Ooh, right in the middle. Not sure if that's what he was going for or not. Maybe a little heavy if he was trying to set up a guard. I mean, he is in the red, so they are currently sitting at 1 over there on sheet C. And that's 1 for Team Hosjan right now. Oh, and I do have a score update for both teams. Team Hosjan has 1 point. And let's see, on sheet D, we're looking, it looks like Colorado Wildlife now is sitting at 3. Still giving the hammer to Wishful Thinking. And Wishful Thinking, by the way, just sent another rock. That is their third rock to send for the third end. A lot of words over here. But yes, I'm fairly new to curling, like brand spanking new to curling. So please, please, if I say something wrong, please correct me so that I can learn from the curling pros that I know are watching us live here today. Okay, we're going to take a second to hear from one of our sponsors, McKee Travel. Did you know that the average traveler spends at least 90 hours researching their vacation? Take back your time and let McKee Travel customize your next trip. McKee Travel believes you should enjoy a trip of a lifetime without the worry. Whether you are looking to reconnect with your favorite person, make memories with your dearest friends and family, or plan a larger scale retreat, reunion, or incentive trip, McKee Travel will take care of every single detail. McKee's travel specialists create personalized, authentic travel experiences for people who want to travel smarter. They take care of arrangements and get you attentive local service in your bucket list destination. Let McKee Travel create the ideal travel itinerary that works best for you. To find out more, visit McKeeTravel.com. That's McKeeTravel.com or call 980-299-7564. That's 980-299-7564 to begin your next great adventure. McKee Travel. Travel smarter and farther. Okay, let's tune back into our games here this morning. Okay, on sheet C, for those of you just joining us, we have Mary Poppins Sweepers throwing the yellow rocks this morning, and we have Team Hosjan throwing the red rocks this morning. Again, this is the C semifinals. The final games for all A, B, C, and D brackets will be played at 12 p.m. That's a 12 p.m. draw, guys. We will see you back here on this same YouTube channel, streaming live to you then. Okay, and on D we have Wishful Thinking throwing the yellow rocks. It looks like Colorado Wildlife just sent another rock down. That is their first vice rock. First vice rock for Colorado Wildlife. Meanwhile, let's see. Wishful Thinking is getting ready to send their first vice rock. They're prepping up on the hack over here. Looking at sheet C, they are on second rocks right now. See, I thought they were right next to each other. It's funny. Sheet D is definitely pulling ahead in terms of actual gameplay. On sheet C, there's a little technical difficulty. They are fixing the left hack mount. So for those of you right-handers using the leftmost, like, I don't know if you call it like a pedal or something, but where you set your feet in the hack, they're trying to fix that in sheet C. It looks like it's having a hard time just staying flush with the ice. Not sure what's going on there. But our trusty old friend Omar is coming out with a nice DeWalt drill to fix that one. So, meanwhile, we'll go just focusing on sheet D for you guys so we can, while they're fixing that technical difficulty. Looks like second Vice Rock for Team Colorado Wildlife here. And I'm assuming that's possibly Eric Mowell. Here we go. In the hack. There we go. Right out of the hack. Nice speed, nice delivery. Release. They are sweeping. We only have one sweeper on that rock. And again, that is their last Vice Rock. Meanwhile, Colorado Wildlife's prepping up. Let's see where that lands. Right between the both yellow rocks that Wishful Thinking has placed. One in the blue, one in the white rings in the house. Right. I don't think you could get more perfectly in between those two rocks than they just did. Uh, that's Colorado Wildlife there. Looking back at the hack again, we have Wishful Thinking getting ready to send their last Vice Rock. Just sent it. You guys can see it in your cameras. Sheet D. We're looking at Sheet D. Oh, I suppose that's the only one you can look at. Okay, they're lightly sweeping right now. Lightly sweeping. Heavy sweeping. Furious sweeping. Furious sweeping. Let's see where that goes. They're just coming into view for you guys. In the upper right corner. Looking to place right by one of their other rocks, it looks like. Just into the blue. Honestly, it's funny because that's exactly where Colorado Wildlife just went whipping right through there. So that's okay. Let's see. Wishful Thinking currently sitting at 4. Would if they weren't? I mean, there's some more shots to be had, but let's say they were done, they'd actually be one ahead of Colorado Wildlife. Ending the third end, but again, we still have. Looks like we still have 2 more for Colorado Wildlife, and also 2 more for Wishful Thinking as well. So now it looks like, thanks to Omar, they did fix the hack. So we're going to switch back to the side-by-side view, so you guys should check that one out. Looks like currently, if we're going to look at Sheet C, it looks like Team Hosejan is sitting at 1 right now. And it looks like Team Hosejan getting ready to send. This is their 4th rock that they are going to send. And again, on Sheet C, yellow has Hammer. So that's Mary Poppins Sweepers for you. But both Team Hosejan and Colorado Wildlife sending rocks at the same time. That was the first skip rock on Sheet D for Colorado Wildlife. Let's see where that ends up going here. Just hit their closest yellow rock for Wishful Thinking. Is that enough to stay? It is enough to stay. Okay, so based on that, Colorado Wildlife currently sitting at 1. Again, Wishful Thinking still has 2 rocks to send, so there is still time to lose that one. But that was not a bad shot to knock out Wishful Thinking's closest yellow rock. Okay, this is the first skip stone of the third end for Wishful Thinking here. It looks like over at Sheet C, Mary Poppins Sweepers sending another rock. Just hit one of. That was Team Hosejan's closest red rock. And they're currently sitting at 1 for Mary Poppins Sweepers for the third end. Again, there's plenty more rocks over there because they have that technical difficulty with the hack. Thanks to Omar for fixing that one. He says he hopes it's fixed, guys. So I guess time will tell if it's fixed or not. But seeing the witches are out there, I'm guessing it's fixed. They're just sending their magical powers over to Sheet C over there and helping them out. But I guess we'll have to find that out as time goes on here. Looking over at Sheet C, Team Hosejan sending another rock. Looks like just tapping, putting them back. Did it stay? It did stay. Okay, so Team Hosejan replaced the one that Mary Poppins Sweepers just hit out. And this is the final rock for Colorado Wildlife on Sheet D for the third end. Let's see what Skip Al Bolt decides to do here. They're sweeping. Only one sweeper on it, though. Only one sweeper on it. It is going to the right side of the sheet, aimed right at the yellow rocks. It only took one of them out, and it was the outside one, unfortunately. So we have one more We have one more rock from Wishful Thinking on sheet D. Tuning over to sheet C real quick. Mary Poppins Sweeper sending another rock. Looks like it took out one of the red rocks from Team Hosejan there. Okay, looking back at sheet D again. Wishful Thinking sending their last rock for the third end. Look at that purple cape again. Oh, what a cape. Pineapple Pants getting ready to sweep. And now sweeping. Very lightly sweeping. Lightly, not sweeping anymore. That purple cape, I tell you, gets me every time. Gets me every time. Okay, let's see where they end up. Okay, Wishful Thinking. Sweeping lightly. Oh, is it enough to stay? It is enough to stay. Okay, Wishful Thinking has three. Three after the third end there. So, again, tying it up with Colorado Wildlife. That is amazing. Amazing. Very, very nice one there. So that is going to hand the hammer back over to Colorado Wildlife for the fourth end here. Okay, tuning over to sheet C again. Looks like Mary Poppins Sweepers, they're sending, that is their last Vice Rock over there that they just sent. So if you look on the left side of your screen, let's see where that actually, it's curious. So they are going after, oh, they hit both of them. They hit both of them, eliminating both of Team Hosejan's rocks there. That is not bad. So I'm based on my camera angle, I'm thinking they're sitting at 3. Not 100% positive based on that one yellow that looks like it's super, just barely touching the blue ring in the house. We'll see what happens here. There are still plenty more rocks to be had here. First skip rock on sheet C for Team Hosejan. Again, plenty of rocks still, so do not worry, folks. If anybody new to the stream is just joining, welcome. This is the C semifinals at the Charlotte Curling Club for the Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel 2021. So we have this draw, and we have one more draw at 12 p.m. today, guys. All the final games happening at 12 p.m. right on this YouTube channel. A, B, and C, and D event finals. We'll love to see you there as well. And we're happy you joined us here to start off your Sunday morning on the curling side of things. Happy to have you here. Okay, that is the first skip rock on sheet C from, let's see, Team Hosejan. And that was their skip, Jeremy Hosejan, sending that one right off. Let's see where that ends up. I'm not sure if he's going or he's just trying to place one of his red ones right in front of the yellow. They were sweeping and then weren't sweeping. Yes, not enough to hit out one of Mary Poppins Sweeper's rocks. But again, I don't think that's what they were going for there. Because they seem to have some pretty good strategy over there. Although it does look like Mary Poppins Sweepers is leading them by 1 point. Oh, yep, we do have that final confirmation on sheet D. Wishful Thinking has definitely tied it with Colorado Wildlife. Wishful Thinking, the yellow rocks, Colorado Wildlife with the red rocks. Colorado Wildlife just sending another one tapped. Wishful Thinking's guard. I don't know if they're actually seeing the house though. Purple cape skip. Looks like Mark Palmer. If he's a skip, not 100%. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, Mark Palmer possibly. I'm not exactly positive if the skip order is right or not on this team. We now have 8 viewers. Welcome to those of you who are just joining us. This is the C semifinals at the Charlotte Curling Club for Sweepy Hollow 2021. I'm your host, Trevor Suarez. Happy to be here with you guys to start off your Sunday morning on the right side with curling. So yes, we are in the right side here on both sheets C and D at the Charlotte Curling Club. So the last rock from on sheet D from Wishful Thinking just knocked out one of Colorado Wildlife's rocks. Um, Based on that, I can't tell if Wishful Thinking is sitting at 1 or 2, based on that Colorado Wildlife rock that's also sitting in the blue ring in the house. Um, we'll see what happens here as Colorado Wildlife is sending. I can't tell which rock that is. It's their third rock, it looks like. Yes, it is their third rock. Okay. It is moving nice and slow, so they're just gonna put a draw right there in the house. So they are definitely sitting now closer than that yellow rock and the blue. So placing Wishful Thinking with 1 right now on sheet D. Tuning back to sheet C, that is the final rock from Team Hosejan for the third end by Skip Jeremy Hosejan over there. So you can see Jeremy there checking the line in your camera on the left side there. Let's see where that ends up. Just tapped. It looks like based on that, Team Hosejan currently sitting at 2. Mary Poppins Sweepers has their last skip rock to place here. So I guess we will see what happens with Mary Poppins Sweepers' final throw in the third end. Okay, looking at sheet D again while there's strategy going on in sheet C. Wishful Thinking is sending another rock here. Let's see what happens. Going right between their other 2. They are definitely sweeping hard. They are slipping. They are sweeping so hard. Especially Mr. Pineapple Pants over there. Looks like Wishful Thinking, based on the last shot, is now sitting at 2 on sheet D. So that was their 4th rock. Colorado Wildlife now getting ready to send their 4th rock of their 4th end. That was a miss on sheet C over there for Mary Poppins Sweepers. Based on that, I believe it was Team Hosejan with 2 there. I will wait for final confirmation just to make sure. Okay, looking back at sheet D again, Colorado Wildlife sending their 4th rock here. Just released. They're sweeping. They're sweeping pretty good. Oh, only 1 sweeper now, letting off. Let's see if they're gonna. I think they're gonna tap their other one. Oh, nope. It went right through the back of the house. A little heavy on that one, but again, not sure what they were trying to go for there. They're trying to tap. I think they're probably trying to tap one of their red ones just slightly to possibly knock out some of the yellow ones that are currently sitting in the middle of the house for Wishful Thinking on sheet D. Team Hosejan sending their first rock for the 4th end for them on sheet C. Sorry, I'm updating that right there for you so you guys can see the scores there. I do have final confirmation now. Team Hosejan on sheet C did get 2 from the last one. That is putting them ahead 3, keeping the hammer with Mary Poppins Sweepers. Okay, it looks like red also has hammer on sheet D. Red is our Colorado Wildlife team. That was the 5th rock for Wishful Thinking. First Vice Rock on sheet D over there for Wishful Thinking. This is the first Vice Rock now for Colorado Wildlife. Meanwhile, on sheet C, Wishful Thinking sends a rock straight through the back of the house over there. I think they're trying to work off of Colorado Wildlife's rock. They're not 100% positive, though. Again, I am new to curling, so please help me out in those YouTube comments if I need to be taught something. And I know our announcer yesterday, Adam, was teaching me a lot which I do appreciate. Let's see, looking at sheet C, Team Hosejan just placed their second rock, hovering between the blue and the red rings in the house, partially covered behind one guard. Not sure how effective that one guard is going to be right now, but I guess time will tell. Looking at sheet D, wishful thinking, sending their, I can't tell which number rock that is, just right on dead center, hit the red one of Colorado Wildlife's rocks, sending it right through the back of the house. That was definitely a good takeout shot. So looking at sheet D, based on that, wishful thinking is having a very good end here. Looks like sitting at 2 or 3. That Colorado Wildlife rock in the very back of the house there, guarded by all the yellows, is definitely keeping wishful thinking from having 4. And here we go, another rock right out of the hack from Colorado Wildlife. It looks like that was the last Vice rock for Colorado Wildlife. Tapped their other one, unfortunately not hitting any other rocks besides their own. So again, they only still have one in the house from Colorado Wildlife. And it looks like Team Hosejan just placed one in the very back of the house over on sheet C. Not sure what they were going for. They were probably trying to take out, I don't know if they're probably not taking out, but probably trying to work off of Mary Poppins Sweeper's rock that is also near the back of the house. Again, looking at sheet C, Mary Poppins Sweeper sending another rock. It looks like that is their third rock to send for the fourth end. If any of you are just joining us this morning, welcome to the Charlotte Curling Club. Welcome to the 2021 Sweepy Hollow competition. This is the C bracket semifinals right now. We only have games going on sheet C and D this morning. As this, whoever ends up winning here will be moved on. So coming up next draw, the last draw for the 2021 Sweepy Hollow at the Charlotte Curling Club. 12 p.m. draw, the finals for the A, B, C, and D brackets. So yes, the losers of the C semifinals here go on to play each other in the D finals event. And the winners here go on to play each other for the C finals event coming up at noon. So now you guys know where our 4 teams this morning are headed. Looking back at sheet C here. Mary Poppins Sweeper sending their, looks like their fourth rock of the game for the what are we on now? The fourth end. We're on the fourth end, guys. Woohoo! Okay, looking back at sheet D over here, Colorado Wildlife, getting ready to send. This is their first skip rock. First skip rock from Skip Al Bolt for Colorado Wildlife. Let's see where it's going to go. I think he might get a perfect line through the middle of the yellows, but it is curling a lot. Not enough weight on it either, as it is just going to sit as a guard. Oh, I'm just kidding. That was not Al Bolt. Al Bolt is standing right in front of me, ladies and gentlemen. I am so sorry. That is Eric Mell. Okay. This is the final rock. That's right. I said final rock for wishful thinking for the fourth end on sheet D. So let's focus on sheet D for a little bit for these last couple of shots, because sheet C still has a little bit to go, as sheet D has pulled ahead with that little hack technical difficulty that we had over on sheet C. Wishful thinking. The purple cape skip Mark Palmer waving his hand. Not sure what at. Um, I can't see exactly what is happening here. Looks like wishful thinking, just placing another one in the house in front of, closer to the center than Colorado Wildlife's. Only one rock in the house. Again, Colorado Wildlife has hammer here, so um, we can see how their last skip shot for the fourth end ends up playing out here. It looks like Al Bolt and Eric over here talking it out. Al placing his broom over here just to the left of all the rocks in the house here. Again, we'll see what happens. We'll just time will tell, right? I'm also very bad at predicting. So trying to figure that out as I'm a new curler. Okay, they're focusing in on sheet D, trying to figure out what to do. Looking at sheet C briefly here, Team Hostjan sending another rock. Went right between the red and the yellow. Now sitting in the blue part of the house. Right up front. They're going to try and sneak in. Mary Poppins Sweeper is going to try and sneak in. Looking back, Colorado Wildlife, last shot for the fourth end. Tapped the yellow one, sending it right through the back of the house. Ooh, eliminating one, possibly two, leaving two yellow for a wishful thinking on the fourth end there. That not bad. Not a bad shot. So that puts wishful thinking ahead by 2 for 5. Now on to the fifth end for that game. We're going to now tune it over to sheet C, and I will wait for final confirmation just to make sure that that is the true score on sheet D. Looking at sheet C again, Mary Poppins Sweepers sending their last Vice Rock, it appears. And again, they have hammer. Let's see where that ends up here. Right through the middle again. Taps their other one. I think they were looking for possibly a little bit less weight there, although I think it ended up okay. Based on that, though, I do believe that Mary Poppins Sweepers is currently sitting at 2 on sheet C. Looking over at sheet D just very briefly here. Oh, we do have final confirmation. First score on sheet D. Wishful Thinking sitting at 5. The first shot from Wishful Thinking on the yellow went right through the center of the house. I'm trying to see. We are on to skip rocks on sheet C. First skip rock for Colorado Wild. That's sheet D. For Team Hostjan on sheet C. First skip rock there. They're sweeping it now. We have one heavy sweep, one light sweep. No sweep now. Again, right through the middle, just like the past 2 shots. One from each team. Tapped both the yellow ones that were currently sitting in there. I would have to look Let me look at the cameras here to see who is sitting where. Up. It is close, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe that Mary Poppins Sweepers is still sitting at one. They're one that is currently on the very left side of your screen that they just pointed to. I think Jeremy Hosjan just pointed to. Looks like they're aiming for that one next shot. Not positive though yet. We'll have to find out. But yes, it does look like Mary Poppins Sweepers is currently sitting at one over there on sheet C. Looking at sheet D, they're sending another one. I think that is Colorado Wildlife. Yes, that is Colorado Wildlife there. Sending another one. Let's see where that ends up. From Colorado Wildlife, it looks like they might be going after, based on how it's curling, going after the current only rock that is in the house from Wishful Thinking, but not enough pressure there. I mean, I guess that is definitely decent because Wishful Thinking, if they'd go after that one directly, would hit their other one out, and it is sitting closer. So Wishful Thinking is still sitting at one on sheet D for the fifth end. We are finishing up the fourth end. We're sitting at the fourth end for sheet C still. That was the first skip rock for Mary Poppins Sweepers. This is now queuing up in the hack. We have the last skip rock from Team Hosjan for sheet C. Team Hosjan, some heavy strategy thanks to Dawn and Jeremy Hosjan, Vice Dawn Hosjan, and Skip Jeremy Hosjan. Love those pineapple pants still from one of the Wishful Thinking team members here. Okay, here we go. This is the last rock. Ready to send it out of the hack. Now sending it. Released just before the hog line there. They are sweeping furiously. Team Hosjan over here. Now not sweeping at all. Let's see where their last rock ends up placing here. Right through the middle again. Ooh. I have to look at my camera. I believe that last shot from Team Hosjan is definitely closer than the yellows. So based on that, I'm thinking Team Hosjan is currently sitting at one. Okay, looking at sheet D again, Colorado Wildlife sending another rock. That is their fourth rock to send for the fifth end here. And we have Shaggy playing over here in the warm room. It's still very, very quiet morning. I can almost hear crickets quiet morning. And it is 10 o'clock, so the bar is open here. And they are actually delivering to the players down, down playing here, which is hilarious. I love that. Okay, on sheet D, Wishful Thinking sending, looks like their first Vice Rock, I believe. Yes, Wishful Thinking sending their first Vice Rock. That was the last shot. I'm sorry, guys. I missed the last shot from, it looks like possibly Mary Poppins. No, Yes, from Mary Poppins. I'm sorry, guys, I missed that. When I have the score for you, though, I will be sure to update you guys on that score here. Looking over on sheet D, sorry, Colorado Wildlife sending another one, knocking. They On that shot, they hit all three yellows, sending one of them out the back of the house. I'm leaving two yellows from wishful thinking still inside the house. It looks like, based on that, Colorado Wildlife is definitely sitting at one right now. Looking at sheet C, Team Hosjan sending their first rock for the fifth end here. And we are back up on viewers again, so if any of you are new to the stream, welcome to the C semifinals for the 2021 Sweepy Hollow at the Charlotte Curling Club. I'm your host, Trevor Suarez, today at you with, again, the 9 a.m. draw for the C semifinals. We're happy to have you guys join here. We do have final confirmation on C for the fourth end. It does look like Team Hosjan scored one, keeping the rock with Mary Poppins Sweepers over here. Again, Mary Poppins Sweepers sending their first rock for the fifth end here with Hammer. Looks like, looking over at sheet D here, Colorado Wildlife just sent another rock. That was their last Vice rock. Now, both teams only have skip rocks remaining for the fifth end, so we'll see what this brings us. Again, reviewing the score, wishful thinking is ahead by 2, 5-3, 3 being Colorado Wildlife over here. And again, the losers of these two competitions this morning, they go on to D finals coming up at noon. And then the winners of these two games play each other for the C finals, also coming up at noon. All the final competitions for Sweepy Hollow are coming up at noon today. A, B, C, and D events for the bracket. The link should be in the YouTube description if you guys are looking to see the brackets of who has won and lost, on what sheets, what days they played, the team names, everything should be on there, on the Google link. If it is not in the YouTube description, let me know. I could probably make it happen for you guys, but it should be view only, like a Google spreadsheet, in the YouTube description. So again, this is the C semifinals for the 2021 Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel at the Charlotte Curling Club. Again, very, very quiet morning here in the warm room, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. We have Team Hosjan getting ready in the hack over here on sheet C. It looks like there's talking some strategy on sheet D here, so we'll focus on sheet C for now. But yes, Team Hosjan just sending, that is their third rock for the fifth end here. This is the first skip rock on sheet D for Colorado Wildlife. So we will see what happens from this. Keep an eye on the right side of your screen if you guys want to see sheet D, and on the left side of your screen if you want to see sheet C. Now again, we only have 2 games going this morning for C semifinals. So that makes it nice and easy because you guys can keep an eye on both games all the time. No need for 2 monitors, only need 1. If you guys do want to focus in on a game, I would be happy to. Just let me know in the YouTube live chat here, and then I will gladly switch for you guys. We have 7 of you watching, so thank you guys so much for watching once again. Really appreciate having all of you join us. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean 7 people are watching. This just means we have 7 YouTube streams open. We could have many people watching one stream. So if there are a lot of people watching one of these streams, let us know in that YouTube live chat. I would be happy to give you guys a shout out this morning, or shout out for any of your favorite teams. I'll be happy to show them a message or go down there and tell them a message myself. So yes, let us see. There is only one more skip rock for, let's see, that is the Colorado Wildlife. And that was the last over on Sheet D. That was the last shot from Wishful Thinking. Currently, the score being 1 for Colorado Wildlife. But again, we do have one more from Colorado Wildlife, so they could draw one more and bring that up to 2. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, that would tie up the game, as I'm being told, and they are 100% right. Okay, let's see. Mary Poppins Sweepers sending another one over on Sheet C. I feel like I'm always almost saying sheep instead of sheet. So, try not to say sheep and instead say sheet. Okay, we have the first Vice Rock over on Sheet C from Team Hosjan, and this is the last rock for Colorado Wildlife for the 5th end. Let's see where they place here, right in the middle. So that brings it to 2 for Colorado Wildlife, tying up the game in the 5th end. We're now on to the 6th end for Sheet D. That is sending the hammer over to Wishful Thinking for the 6th end on Sheet D. Tuning back to the 5th end on Sheet C, we are now looking at Team Hosjan sending another rock down there. They are currently... Oh, they have a lot in the house down there, guys. That is 4 for Team Hosjan down in the house over there on Sheet C. That is a lot of rocks. Here we go. This is the first rock for Colorado Wildlife on Sheet D. So a lot of strategy going on, seeing Team Hosjan has so many rocks down there in the house.
They don't have the hammer.
Correct. They do not have the hammer, though, which is funny.
So it can change in a second.
Okay, that is the first Vice Rock for Mary Poppins Sweepers over there on Sheet C. And then we're just about to witness the delivery of the first Wishful Thinking rock over on Sheet D for the 6th end. Right for a takeout. Wishful Thinking currently sitting at 1 on Sheet D for the 6th end. Let's see what Team Hosjan is going to do. Not that they are currently... I think they're going to try and take out... Took out that yellow rock that Mary Poppins Sweepers just placed in there. Putting them back, I think, back at 4... Yeah, putting them back at 4 in the house again. Again, Mary Poppins Sweepers has hammer for the 5th end on Sheet C. But again, time will tell. Time will tell. So if any of you are just joining us, welcome to the Sweepy Hollow 2021 C semifinals. We only have games going on Sheets C and D this morning at the Charlotte Curling Club. This is the 9 a.m. draw. The last day of Sweepy Hollow 2021. A bittersweet day for all. I mean, probably mostly sweet because it is Halloween after all. So yes, happy Halloween if I didn't say so already, guys. Happy Halloween. We are onto skip rocks now on Sheet C. This is the first skip rock for Team Hosjan getting ready over here in the hack. Looks like Mary Poppins Sweepers eliminated two of Team Hosjan's rocks that were currently sitting in the house. I can't tell if they are currently. Mary Poppins Sweepers is currently sitting at 1 over there on sheet C.
How quick it changes.
Yeah, it changes every single minute. But that's the beauty, isn't it?
It is. It is. They get excited when they get more stones in the house. They're not. I wouldn't get excited about that.
So I'm just finding out that sometimes it's better to have the rocks over here on the 12 foot than necessarily on the 8 foot.
Get bigger score ends with that.
Okay, let's see. We have the first skip rock now for Mary Poppins Sweepers over on sheet C. For this is their 5th end. Yes, this is their 5th end. We are on to the 6th end over on sheet D. Looks like wishful thinking getting to send another, of course, another yellow rock. Remember, wishful thinking currently has hammer right now. Just tapped. Unfortunately, that tapped another one of theirs out as well. And looks like sheet D, Color to Wildlife currently sitting at 1. Tuning back in. Here we go. First skip rock for Mary Poppins Sweepers over on sheet C. Curious to see what they ended up deciding for their strategy here. Looks like they might hit their other one. Oh, just tap their other one. Taps one of Team Hosjan's Red Rocks. Have to look at the camera to see who's where here. Looks like Team Hosjan currently sitting at 2 over there for the 5th end. Down from their 4 before, but still ahead. And if Team Hosjan does end up scoring these, or scoring any points, pulling them further away from Mary Poppins Sweepers, but still keeping Mary Poppins Sweepers with the hammer, then into the 6th end. Again, sheet D is still tied up, 5 total for both teams. As wishful thinking here, getting ready to send another rock. This is, looking at sheet C, the final rock for Team Hosjan for the 5th end. Final rock for Team Hosjan for the 5th end. Sheet C, halfway down the sheet. Now coming towards the house. Right in front of one of Mary Poppins Sweeper's rocks there. Okay, now looking at sheet C still. Mary Poppins Sweeper's final skip rock here for the 5th end. So we'll see what happens here. Final skip rock.
Draw for 1.
He's getting ready to send it. Coming out of the hack. Okay. Again, keep an eye on the left side of the screen, guys. That is your final skip rock from Mary Poppins Sweepers. Left side of your screen on sheet C. Let's see if they're able to They're just trying to draw in the middle. It looks like Team Hosjan now sweep it. Nope, it just had too much power, guys. It looks like Team Hosjan sitting at 3. They got one.
They got one. He fooled around. He kicked it out.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. See, I thought he was just going through. Okay, okay.
Typical Jeremy. Or me.
Okay, so all games this morning are now onto the sixth end. That was over on sheet D. That was the fifth rock of the sixth end for Colorado Wildlife. Unfortunately, they don't have any rocks in the house right now. No guards, none in the house. They're all sitting in the very, very outside of the ice here. Okay, this is the first rock from Mary Poppins Sweepers for the sixth end over on sheet C. Meanwhile, on sheet D, Colorado Wildlife very exposed, but they're in the house, so. But yes, there's still plenty of gameplay. Still plenty of gameplay as we're currently on Vice Rocks right now over on sheet D. Okay. Okay, we do have scores hung on sheet C. That brings Mary Poppins Sweepers 3 points. Handing the hammer over to Team Hosjan for the sixth end here. Again, Team Hosjan. Oh, sorry. Mary Poppins Sweepers over on C, sending their second rock for the sixth end there. Some strategy coming over here on sheet D from Colorado Wildlife. Not sure what they're thinking yet. Probably just trying to remove as many of those yellow rocks as possible here. Meanwhile, Wishful Thinking is feeling a little extra wishful right now. Okay, this is the first skip rock for Colorado Wildlife over on sheet D. Taps got one, but they also weren't able to stick their own rock in the house as both rocks, the yellow and the red, are now out of play. Okay, now first skip rock for Wishful Thinking here on sheet D. Here we go, Mary Poppins Sweepers. That is their third rock for the 6N. They set up another guard, but they also sent one of Team Hosjan's rocks into the house. Wishful Thinking over on sheet D on the right side of your screen. coming in with another rock here. Moving so slowly now, no longer sweeping.
Being on the 12 foot, they can have a big end. Oh, are they in there? Yeah.
Yep.
Those are the best positions. You get those positions, not much you can do about it. You make your last shot. When you
So wishful thinking now sitting 3 for the 6th end. This is now the last shot for Colorado Wildlife to try and remove as many of those wishful thinking yellow rocks out of there.
bury it behind the other two yellows.
Oh, okay. They're probably gonna bury it behind the other 2 yellows. There you go. See, I know nothing about strategy right now, guys. So please share with me. I want to know.
That's the same thing. That center yellow, they come down from 4 to 1.
Or they could just draw as close to the center as possible too.
Get one.
Yeah.
But it didn't. That's last rock. They've got to bury it.
Okay, over on sheet C, that was the fourth rock from Mary Poppins Sweepers. Let's see here. It's coming. Worried it might not be able to slow down enough. Because now wishful thinking is sweeping as hard as possible. Yep, and it is out of play again. So there you have it on sheet D for the 6th end. Wishful thinking is currently sitting at 3, and they still have one more rock to deliver here.
If those rocks were anywhere near the center, they'd never be there. But
Yeah.
there they are. You can't hit those. You only get one. So yeah, it's a 4-ender if he doesn't put it anywhere.
Over on sheet C, real quick, Team Hosejan just placed another red rock right in front of their current one that is on the perimeter.
What do they do? Throw through? Omar? Yeah. Try to bury it without what have
It looks like wishful thinking also sent. So there you go. Wishful thinking just earned 4 in the 6th end. So they're now in the 7th end. Wishful thinking is at 9, sending the hammer back to Colorado Wildlife over here, who is sitting at 5. So they are now in the 7th end, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who have joined, if any of you have joined, welcome to Sweepy Hollow 2021. Welcome to the Charlotte Curling Club. I'm your host, Trevor Suarez, over here. This is the 9 a.m. draw on Sunday. This is your C semifinals. We only have 2 games going this morning between Mary Poppins Sweepers and Team Hosejan on sheet C, and Wishful Thinking and Colorado Wildlife on sheet D. The winners of these 2 games move on to C finals, and the losers of these 2 games move on to D bracket finals coming up today at noon. We have a noon draw for the remainder of Sweepy Hollow 2021, where we'll be featuring A, B, C, and D bracket finals at that draw. I'd like to take a minute to thank my dentist, one of the Charlotte Curling Club sponsors, my dentist. The dental team at My Dentist is eager to help you and your family achieve optimal oral health and is dedicated to helping you improve your smile. My dentists are proud to provide comfortable, painless dental care to all of their patients, offering both cosmetic and restorative dentistry. Whether you are in need of a simple cleaning or offering a complex treatment, the team at My Dentist can meet your needs to restore your oral health. With nearly 300 five-star reviews, come find out why Charlotte Curlers love My Dentist. Contact them at mydentist.org. That's mydentist.org. Or call to book your appointment today at 704 375 8577. That's 704 375 8577. I'd also like to call out Dava State Vineyards. North Carolina ranks 7th among the top wine producing regions in the United States. Dava State Vineyards is a vineyard, winery, and a private event venue located near Lake Norman State Park, just 35 miles north of Charlotte. Set on a stunning 60-acre property, Dava State Vineyards is open to the public 4 days a week, offering live music and food trucks on the weekends. Dava State Vineyards is also available to host all of life's milestone moments, from birthdays and anniversaries to proposals, weddings, and corporate events. Dava State Vineyards facilities include a winery, tasting room, art gallery, event pavilion, and acres of grapes. Contact Dava State Vineyards at davastatevineyards.com. That's DAVESTEVINEYARDS.com, or by phone at 704 528 3882. That's 704 528 3882. Or follow them on Instagram at Dava State Vineyards. Dava State Vineyards, makers of award-winning North Carolina wines. Okay, let's tune back into our games over here. For those of you just joining us, if any of you have just joined us, welcome back to the Sweepy Hollow 2021. Welcome to the Charlotte Curling Club. I'm your host, Trevor Suarez, here today. This is your 9 a.m. draw. This is the C semifinals. We are only having 2 games currently going on, Sheet C and D, today for you. So if any of you in the YouTube comments watching over there want to highlight a specific game, I'd be happy to. Chat with me in the YouTube live chat. I love to hear your comments, love to hear your excitement, love to hear your cheer. Let me know, bring it all to the table, and I will match it. Okay, it looks like we are on Sheet C on to Skip Rocks, as looks like Mary Poppins. Yep. Mary Poppins is going to make their first skip shot for their skip, Kyle Fisher. Let's see what happens over here. You never know. So, Sheet C, between Mary Poppins Sweepers and Team Hosjan, they are currently on the 6th end. Where the game on Sheet D, Wishful Thinking, Colorado Wildlife, they are on, they're in the 7th end. So there you go. Looking at Sheet C again, Mary Poppins Sweepers, that is their first skip shot. Coming in light, we have 3 sweepers on it now. Set it up as another guard. Not sure if they were trying to get it to touch the house or not. So now we are looking at Team Hosjan preparing over there in the hack on the far side of the curling club. I'm getting ready to make his first skip shot. That is Jeremy Hosjan, everybody. Looking at Sheet D real quick here. Colorado Wildlife making a shot. And she'd see at the same time Team Hosejan coming in on the side here. Let's see how much it curls. If it's going to tap the yellow. It does not tap the yellow. Continues into the house. Taps their other red ones, sending their most center red rock further in the house, which actually is going to look like that's a really good thing for them. Looking over at sheet D, wishful thinking, sending their last vice rock. Well, sheet D is just moving through super fast over here, gameplay. So, based on my cameras over here, wishful thinking, currently sitting at 2 over here on sheet D. And here comes Colorado Wildlife getting ready to send another rock here. Not sure if he's trying to draw in the middle or eliminate yellows. We'll find out very shortly as it comes down to the house. Coming with a lot of pressure. Very heavy shot there. So Colorado Wildlife now has one in the house, but it's very edge, 12 foot. Where wishful thinking currently has one in the 4 foot. And here we go, wishful thinking getting ready to send another shot. Sorry, I'm focusing on D right now, as there's a lot of strategy on C for Mary Poppins sweepers, as this will be their final throw for there in the 6th end. So this will be Mary Poppins' final throw for the 6th end. Wishful thinking just eliminated Colorado Wildlife's last shot in the 12-foot ring. So Colorado Wildlife currently sitting at 2. Colorado Wildlife has 2 more shots. This is their first skip shot for the 7th end. And meanwhile, over on sheet C, looks like Kyle Fisher is getting ready to make his last rock. Oh, there we go. Just sent his last rock. Looks like he's not. They're sweeping hard. Tapped. It did not quite make it through the hole they were trying to make it through. Tapped 2 red ones. The 2 red ones from Team Hosejan, they are now their skip. It looks like Jeremy is trying to figure out, tell Dawn where to place her broom so he can go make the last shot here. Very crowded house over here on sheet C, as there is only 1 yellow rock currently out of play. Every other rock is in the house except for the last shot by Team Hosejan, which is currently at the other end of the sheet. Okay, looking at sheet D, this is the final skip rock for wishful thinking. Of course, that fabulous purple cape coming back at you again. So sheet D, this is wishful thinking making their last shot. Probably going to try and eliminate the only one from Colorado Wildlife. Now Colorado Wildlife does have hammer over here on sheet D. Looks to be a tad bit wide. Just tapped. Just tapped Colorado Wildlife. It does look like, based on our camera view, you guys look in the lower right corner camera angle on your screen. Um, you can see that it looks like Wishful Thinking is currently still sitting at one. Colorado Wildlife, because they have hammer, have one more shot left. And I'm so sorry, I missed the last shot from Team Hostjan on C. Although we did have it in your camera view, so those of you who are watching, you did get to see it. Here we go. Another one from Team Hostjan over on sheet C, left side of your screen, as well as the last one for the seventh end for Colorado Wildlife on sheet D on the right side of your screen. Let's see what ends up happening here on sheet D. It's interesting. This is the last rock for the seventh end on sheet D between Wishful Thinking and Colorado Wildlife. There you go. Eliminated Wishful Thinkings, bringing that to 2 for Colorado Wildlife here. They're still trailing by 2 though. Still trailing by 2. So they are now on to the 8th end over here, sending the hammer back to Wishful Thinking over here. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Colorado Wildlife still having hammer. No, I'm sorry. Wishful Thinking has hammer. My apologies. IQ changed my mind over here, guys. I gotta go with my gut instinct. I had it right the first time. Okay, this is the second rock from Team Hostjan for the seventh end. I'm sorry, I forgot to change that. Score update for sheet C. It looks like Team Hostjan is having 5 over there, leading Mary Poppins Sweepers with 3. And so sorry, I forgot to update this. Mary Poppins Sweepers does have hammer for the 7th end on sheet C. Okay, here we go. Wishful Thinking on sheet D, really sweeping hard. Trying to eliminates Colorado Wildlife's first shot. There you go. Wishful Thinking in the 12-foot ring in the house. Only rock in the house currently over on sheet D. So for those of you, I see our viewers have been, we've got some, lost some, got some. So those of you who, if you just joined us, welcome. If you have been watching the whole time, you're still welcome, okay? Nothing has changed there. This is the 2021 Sweepy Hollow at the Charlotte Curly Club. This is the C bracket semifinals. We only have 2 games going this morning for the 9 a.m. draw. On sheet C, we have Mary Poppins Sweepers and Team Hostjan. On sheet D, we have Wishful Thinking and Colorado Wildlife. The winners of both of these games will go on to play each other in the C finals. And the losers of these 2 games will play each other for the D finals. These final games are happening at noon Eastern. I should clarify, Eastern times. All these times are Eastern. So noon Eastern today, we will have A, B, C, and D for the final draw of the 2021 Sweepy Hollow at the Charlotte Curling Club. I'm so glad you guys could join us for this Bonspiel. It is such a great time. Very, very chill morning this morning here um, at in the warm room. Now, I can't really hear the audio, but when I do stop talking, I go on mute. I do have a microphone down there, so you guys can hear a little bit of what's going on down on the ice. Um, so we are, again, just up to you guys on where we are at. Um, Team Hosjan is leading on sheet C, 5-3. 3 being Mary Poppins Sweeper. Mary Poppins Sweepers. I'm so sorry. Um, and over on sheet D, we have Wishful Thinking, Colorado Wildlife. Wishful Thinking is trailing by 2, 5-7. 7 Colorado Wildlife. Looking at sheet C, Mary Poppins Sweepers um, just delivered. I think that's Jimmy. Um, just delivered. What rock number is that for them? That is their fourth rock for the seventh end. And here we go, Mr. Pineapple Pants over here, sweeping furiously, eliminated both that shot, but they also eliminated a Colorado Wildlife rock as a guard, opening up the house now. The house is open, guys. Unlocked, ready to go. Okay, looking at sheet C again. Team Hosjan delivering their fifth rock for the game. This is the first Vice rock, ladies and gentlemen. We now up to 10 viewers. Those of you who are just joining us, welcome. Welcome to the Charlotte Curling Club. Welcome to the 2021 Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel. I'm your host, Trevor Suarez. I am so thrilled to have you guys join us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Wish you guys could be here, but still, you are here virtually, and that's what matters. We are in the C semifinals right now. Please drop your comments in the live chat. I'd be happy to chat with you. Here we go, looking at sheet C. I have your side-by-side view so you guys can see C and D. If you guys do want me to focus on a specific one, please tell me so I can focus on C or D. But yes, we only have 2 games going on this morning. So that's the beauty, because we can watch 2 at once. No need for dual monitors, right? So looking at sheet D, looks like Wishful Thinking is currently sitting at 1. And looking over at sheet C, Mary Poppins Sweepers currently sitting at 2. Let's see what happens here as Team Hosjan delivers their last Vice Rock they're on the 7th end over there. We are on the 8th end over on sheet D as they are speeding right along. They sped right through the 6th and 7th ends over on sheet D to bring us now to the 8th. Okay, here we go. Looking at sheet D, Colorado Wildlife just delivered yet another rock. That is their 5th rock for the 8th end. Right through the house. A lot of pressure there. Didn't quite get the angle. I know they were trying to take out, let's see, that's Wishful Thinking's rock. That is currently their scoring rock in the very center, almost very center of the house. And meanwhile, Wishful Thinking over there in the hack, getting ready to deliver another one on sheet D. Same thing on sheet C. Mary Poppins Sweepers getting ready to deliver another one here. Okay, here we go. Team Hosejan getting ready on seed to throw yet another red rock. This is their first skip rock, guys. Their first skip rock. Okay, there we go. First skip rock by Skip Jeremy Hosejan. And meanwhile on sheet D, Wishful Thinking, Colorado Wildlife, getting ready for some of their final shots. It looks like they are also onto skip rocks, except for they are on the 8th end. Sheet C, they are on the 7th end. This is, looks like, can't tell if it's the final. Nope, first skip rock for Mary Poppins Sweepers. First skip rock from Mary Poppins Sweepers on the 7th end. So we're nearing the end of the 7th end on sheet C, and nearing the end of the 8th end on sheet D. Okay, here we go. Looking at sheet D, Colorado Wildlife. That looks like it's Eric Mowell. See how heavy his throw is. If it's gonna draw, or if it's gonna go through the house. Now, Wishful Thinking has been very good at sweeping, so they can probably, they can definitely sweep that one through the end of the house, out the back of the house. So they are all fist bumping, which I gotta wait for final confirmation of the score, whether that was 2 or 3. Okay, it looks like Wishful Thinking is going to be updating that score very shortly, and then we are going to, looks like, have a final score. Looks like, looking back at sheet C, we'll focus on sheet C for now, unless I get a score update. Still waiting on that score update, guys. Hold on just a minute here. Oh, okay, okay. Got it, got it. Okay, okay. So that is the final score on sheet D that you are looking at right now. Wishful Thinking moving on to C finals. And it looks like Colorado Wildlife moving on to D finals. So there we go. We got our finals. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong button here. There we go. Sheet D final score there for you guys. So you guys can. We will focus then on sheet C in just a second. Sheet C right there. Excellent. We're now looking at sheet C. Sheet C. Ignore what it says there. It is not a final. Don't worry. There we go. We're still on the 7th end over here on sheet C. Team Hosejan leading 5-3. 3 Mary Poppins Sweepers. Oh, they look like they... Just give me a second, everybody. I'll be right back. So for those of you watching on YouTube, they actually blanked the seventh end. So we are actually on the eighth end. Um, Yellow, Mary Poppins Sweeper still has Hammer over here on sheet C. Um, so we will do some big focus shots over here for you guys, so you guys can see what's going on a little bit better here. So just stick with me on this view while I arrange the others very shortly here. Okay, here we go. So you guys can see up close and big what is going on here. Okay, let's pull up. And then, oop, that's big score. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, here is the little score. There we go. Again, we are still in the eighth end because they blanked the seventh end. Team Hosejan leading 5-3. 3 Mary Poppin, 5 Team Hosejan. Looks like based on that view, Team Hosejan is currently sitting at 2. Let me pull up the other view so you guys can see down sheet as well. There we go. So again, Team Hosejan now sitting at 3. And you can see where Skip of Mary Poppins Sweeper is currently holding his broom. We'll fade over so you guys can see Mary Poppins Sweeper is up in the hack, getting ready for their last, not their last shot, I'm sorry, excuse me, getting ready for another shot. Not sweeping, not sweeping, not sweeping, not sweeping, now sweeping. Sweeping hard, really hard, furiously sweeping. You know, we'll go back over so you guys can see see the house. Nice and easy right in there on the 8-foot. They leaving Team Hoshan. Looks like still with 2, but a lot of options. So yeah, no longer 3, now 2. For those of you just joining back, I will flash up so you guys can see. We are only on sheet C right now because we are only on sheet C because sheet D currently has a final score. Wishful Thinking moving on to C finals, and Colorado Wildlife moving on to D finals, D bracket finals. Wishful Thinking, they just shook hands towards the end and did not finish the last end because they couldn't get 2 points. So looking back at C here. So they're just sending that last rock right there. I'll switch it back so you guys can see the house. Team Hosejan sending in that last shot, tapping Mary Poppins Sweepers. Probably the shot they were going for there, because now Team Hosejan is sitting at 1. So we can see what the skip of Mary Poppins Sweepers. We see the skip of Mary Poppins Sweepers. Over there with his broom getting ready. We'll fade over so that way you can see what's going on down at the hack as well. And if there's any new streamers, this is the last game that is currently active. We are currently in the 8th end. This is the C semifinals for the 2021 Charlotte Curling Club Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel. Happy to have you guys join here. Welcome. It's always a pleasure. Okay, here we go. Looking at the house now. They're looking straight at Nice shot there by Mary Poppins Sweepers. We're getting some camaraderie in the warm room now. Mary Poppins Sweepers just eliminated 2 from Team Hosjan. Team Hosjan still with 1 though, as they have 1 closer in the 4-foot ring of the house. We will look back so you guys can see coming down another one from Team Hosjan. Switch back to the house then for you. Looking in the house, attacking some of Mary Poppins, eliminated 2 of theirs. Again, Team Hosjan again is still leading with 1. But they just eliminated 2 on the very far edge of the house, and normally that's where you want your rocks to stick around in the edge, because those are harder to eliminate. So kudos to that last shot for sorry, that was Team Hosjan with the last shot there. Okay, now they're deciding here. Some strategy going on in the house. Okay, still a lot of strategy going on here. Okay, here we go. Let's switch back so you guys can see what's going on down the hack. Just about ready for the last shot here. We'll see what happens right here. Last Vice Rock. No, I'm sorry. First Vice Rock. Yes, first Vice Rock right there. And that's first Vice Rock for Team Mary Poppins Sweepers. Looking back at the house so you guys can see any changes there. Sorry, I forgot to switch the camera. My apologies. Again, some strategy going on down at the house as well as down sheet. Looking down sheet. Okay, here we go. Team Hosjan sending their... This is their second Vice Rock for Team Hosjan. We'll switch it back to the house in just a second here. And we'll switch you over so that way you guys can see. Coming on in. Trying to tap up. It looks like one of theirs. Tapped it up. I don't know if that's quite what they were looking for though. Because now they are guarding a yellow one, but I think they're probably hoping for a little more pressure there. Either to eliminate the yellow one or to just knock it out further. But again, I'm no strategist here, so please use that YouTube live chat. Chat with me. Let's have a conversation. Let's make this fun. Because I don't know how much longer these games are going to last here. Because we are on the 8th end for Team Hosjan and Mary Poppins Sweepers here. For those of you, if you have been just joining or rejoining, welcome or welcome back. This is the last game for C semifinals for Charlotte Curling Club's 2021 Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel. Looking at sheet C now, you can see that Mary Poppins Sweepers... Ooh, I'm sorry. That was my apologies there. There you go. That was their first skip rock. Now we'll look down sheet again. My apologies for that. I'm so sorry. There's now 11 of you. Yes, let's go. Welcome. Love to have everybody here. Let's get that camaraderie in the YouTube chat. Like, let's hear it. Um, these teams, like, this is high pressure. It's either onto the finals or onto the D bracket. Like, so so show your support. This is Team Hosjan and Mary Poppins Sweepers. Okay, I'm putting in a poll for you guys. Who's your favorite team on Sheet C? Let's hear it. Gotcha. I will show you the house, Jeremy. Let me switch to it there. There you go. Thanks for the comment, Jeremy. Really appreciate it. So there you go. I left a poll for you guys. So who's your favorite team currently playing right now? We got Hosjan, 1 vote. So there you can see coming right out of the hack. There we go, Team Hosjan. Switching you back right over. It is definitely curling this morning. The ice is good. There you go. And then there you can see the shot. Just not enough. Just not enough. A little too much curl. Oh, Hosjan is still 50-50 for who's the favorite team right now. Comment from Jeremy. It looks like Dawn is calling ice for Jeremy to draw in to the bottom. Jeremy to Jeremy message. Well, I'll see if I can let him know for you. Okay, let's see what happens here. This is the first skip rock for Mary Poppins here. For those of you who are listening, thank you for letting Neil know that the losers of this game are out. So it looks like Mary Poppins just made their first skip throw here. Now you can see in the shot here. Oh! Hit both theirs and Team Hosjan's closest rock. So yes, to iterate on my correction here for those of you who are currently joining, the winners of this go on to C finals, and the losers, this will be their final game that they play. So again, those of you, if you were missing it, the sheet D, the Colorado Wildlife, and Wishful Thinking. Wishful Thinking is moving out. Colorado Wildlife, thank you so much for playing. It was nice knowing you. We're glad that you can make it to the Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel and play with us. Looking back at Sheet C, again, we're looking at some strategy here. It's 50-50 on that chat for Team Hoshin versus Mary Poppins Sweepers. I find that shocking. That doesn't every game have a favorite team? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Looks like Jeremy's our most popular chatter over here. So Jeremy, thank you for commenting. I really appreciate it. Okay, and here's the delivery. Here's the delivery for Team Hosjan. And we'll switch it back over to the house in just a second here and right now. So that way you guys can see exactly their route here. Where they plan sneak in, but it is curling. It is curling heavy. Taps Mary Poppins. But that's enough. That's enough to actually, looks like they're sitting at 2. Team Hosjan sitting at 2 right now. There's one more rock to be delivered, though, in this 8th end from Mary Poppins Sweepers. That was their final rock for Team Hosjan. Final skip rock. So we are about to finish up C finals. We will have a winner here very, very shortly. So stick around. This is the most exciting part of the whole live stream, guys. And you are here to join us for it. So thank you guys so much again. Really, really appreciate it. Oh, we got another comment from Jeremy. Looks like Dawn is lining up for a draw again. Yes, I 100% agree with you on that one. A lot of strategy here going in the house. And it's a crowded house too. Here, I'll mute. Maybe you guys can hear what they're talking about down there. So I can hear Neil over here. He's predicting that this is a hopeful shot. Hopeful shot. So we'll see what happens here from Mary Poppins Sweepers. Here we go. You guys can see this is the final shot. Final shot. Not sweeping yet. Neil wants them to sweep, though. Ah. Team Hosjan coming with 1 there. So then that is the final. Final score for you there. Everybody's giving big hugs. You could see let's see all the hugs here, and if we tune in, you can see the warm room is definitely crowding up over here. So big crowd around sheet C there as they're now cleaning up. Okay, so we are going to get together the total. Stay on that Google spreadsheet so that way you can stay tuned in that Google spreadsheet so that way you can easily keep track of the teams that are going to be coming up at noon today. So that way at noon you can easily tune back in on the same YouTube live stream. Okay. We love having you guys here. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the C semifinals at the Charlotte Curling Club. I'm your host, Trevor Suarez. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been such a great time this morning, and we will see you guys back here on the same YouTube channel at noon Eastern. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.